Welcome to the deep dive. Here, we take sources you're interested in, dig in, and pull out the key stuff. Think of it as your way to get up to speed fast, maybe have a few aha moments.
Hmm.
You're here because you want to get the insights, get them thoroughly, but without getting totally bogged down.
Right. Cut through the noise.
Exactly. So today we're diving into these excerpts from Vera, the girl who broke the auction. And these sources, they lay out this future with, well, gene auctions.
Gene auctions, yeah. It's a concept that immediately grabs you.
It really does. Designing individuals, then selling them. And Vera, she's right at the center, pushing back.
Yeah.
So our mission, let's say, is to really get a feel for this world. What does this kind of genetic engineering and ownership mean? And what happens when one person, just one, says no?
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, the whole idea that gene auctions, a designer person rejecting their design, it's just fascinating.
And what jumps out from these excerpts is how the society seems to have just accepted it. Designing people for jobs, treating them like, well, high-end equipment.
Yeah.
It forces you to ask some pretty big questions. When technology lets you do this, where do you draw the line? What about the person themselves?
Okay, so let's dive into the auction itself. It's described as this platinum showroom, golden champagne, holographic embryos. It sounds very slick, very high-end.
Almost ritualistic in a weird way. Mask deletes.
Right. And then we get lot, hashtag 672888. It's not a name, it's a catalog number. And the specs? Wow. Omega Prime, Genome Class, Synapse Max Neural Mod, some kind of brain booster, I guess.
Sounds like it, yeah. Enhanced processing.
Muscle ratio 3.2 times normal, UV vision, IQ estimate 192, starting bid. 12 million credits. Sold to this Juno Cast Biodyne consortium.
It's like buying a supercar, not a person.
Totally. It completely changes how you think about potential, doesn't it? It's all about the specs, the asset value.
And the hologram information, it's so detailed. Not just, oh, she'll be smart. It's charts, projections, cognitive potential, looks, even predicted compliance.
Compliance, wow.
Yeah. They think they've mapped it all out. Genes equal destiny, basically. Which, takes all the mystery, the potential out of being human. It's chillingly efficient.
Reducing a life to data points.
Right. And it creates this obsession with metrics, with control.
Right.
Where's the room for, unexpected genius? Or just being different?
And Vera's start in life fits right in. Incubatron 7. A zero-G Genoforge up in orbit.
Yeah, no cozy nursery.
No, it's assessment protocols, whispering machines. She's engineered, observed, analyzed from day one. It kind of makes sense in a horrible way that there's no traditional nurturing. She's a product.
In that environment, it clearly worked in terms of making her brilliant, solving PhD-level puzzles at 2, a symphony at 4, hacking her nursery firewall at 6.
Incredible.
The consortium got the raw talent they paid for, no question. But maybe they got more than they bargained for. All that brain power, it seems to have led self-awareness much faster than they expected, or maybe wanted.
And that's the turning point, right? These little signs of defiance, all that brilliance. But she starts thinking about it, asking her handler, why don't I get to choose?
Such a simple question, but so fundamental.
Exactly. And Dr. Ilori's answer, wow, you were designed to exceed, not decide.
Oof. Yeah, that tells you everything about the system's view, doesn't
It
it?
really does. She's a tool, a high-performance tool, but still just a tool.
And that exchange, it seems to be key. Because after that, Vera goes quiet. She stops asking, starts watching, observing the system that holds her. That's her beginning to strategize.
And then comes the escape, age 11, 4.2 seconds.
Unbelievable speed.
Micropulse blackout for the drones, swaps her retinal signature with a dummy, basically tricks the eye scanner, right?
Yeah, classic bait and switch, using their own tech against them. And electromagnetic masking.
Oh.
She just vanished.
Going from that super-controlled world to nothing, it shows incredible skill and serious determination.
And it's ironic, isn't it? Using the very abilities they engineered in her against them. And then she lands in the undercity of New Phoenix. Total opposite of the incubator. Garbage towers, neons, smells, copper and smoke. But the source says freedom.
A harsh kind of freedom, though.
Oh, definitely. But hers. That sensory blast, the dirt, the noise, that's liberation for her.
And she adapts so fast, sleeping in old subway tunnels, eating expired nutrient paste.
Grim.
Yeah. Pickpocketing neural chips, cracking firmware just to get water. She goes from lot hashtag 672888, this prize asset, to just Vera.
And those nicknames, Ghost Kid, Hack Witch, brain rat.
Right, gritty street names. She's leaving that old identity behind.
But she's always hiding, right? The consortium wouldn't just let her go. Her just surviving down there is proof of how smart and resourceful she is. Those nicknames, they capture parts of her, her stealth, her tech skills, her mind, the person they couldn't control.
Then she meets Jax, this gene escape artist. I like that term.
Me too, running a rogue clinic.
And he helps people disappear, genetically speaking. Offers Vera a fade, a new identity, new genes.
Which is, one way to fight back, hide, survive.
But Vera says no. She doesn't want to hide. She says, I want to break the auction.
That's a huge shift. It's not just about her anymore. It's about the whole system.
Yeah. And Jax lays it out for her. You weren't made to live. You were made to be owned.
Stark, but true in that world.
And Vera's reply, then let's teach them I'm not for sale. That's the moment, isn't it? The revolutionary spark.
Absolutely. So they cook up this plan. Cradlefall.
A mimetic virus, not biological, right? It's information.
Yeah, exactly. It attacks the idea behind the auction, the bidding algorithms, the predictions. It introduces doubt, chaos into their perfect system.
So it's like a logic bomb for the market, targeting the belief that you can perfectly predict a person from their genes.
Precisely. It's clever because it undermines the whole justification for those crazy prices. If you can't be sure of the outcome, why pay millions?
Then it works. Fast. The neonatal futures index crashes 38% in under a week.
Huge impact. Shows how fragile that confidence really was.
And we get these examples. The kid's supposed to be a music genius who's tone deaf. 40 million credits down the drain.
Ouch.
Another buyer suing for psychological return under performance.
You can't make this stuff up. Well, someone did, but you know what I mean. It shows the absurdity of trying to guarantee human traits, like their product features.
Yeah. But the source says Vera wanted more than just making investors panic.
Right. The money chaos is just a symptom. She's aiming for the core belief system, the whole idea that you can own and guarantee a person's future based on genes.
Okay, so the consortium finally catches up to her. She's 16, almost 17, launching Cradlefall 2.0 aimed at Mars this time.
Expanding her reach, she's relentless.
They find her in this shantytown drone attack. She fights back, EMP dart, capacitor overload.
Still defiant, even cornered.
But then Dr. Alari shows up, cold as ever.
The architect of her existence, basically.
Yeah.
And Alari just talks about contract breach, IP theft.
Yeah, framing it all like a business dispute, completely ignoring the human element.
Zero empathy. All property rights and violations.
And then Alari hits her with, you are not a person, you are a product. And your recall clause is now active.
Chilling. Just absolutely dehumanizing.
But Vera gets the last word, sort of. You don't get to own gods anymore. And then she bites her tongue, activates some hidden microinjector.
Whoa. What was that?
The text implies it's something she planned for. A final act of control, maybe? Denying them the satisfaction of just taking her.
Wow. Even captured, she's still fighting, still controlling what she can. It shows she knew this might happen.
So she wakes up. White cell, no windows, chains, classic confinement.
Maximum security, minimum humanity.
Ilari's there, interrogating her about market damage. Not about freedom or choice, just the money.
Of course. Predictable.
And then the threat. This is really dark. Ilari says even if Vera dies, they have backups. 7 volts full of her genome. We'll print you again. Better. Obedient.
Oh, that's horrific. The ultimate denial of herself, her struggle. Just reprint the asset.
But Vera just gives this little smile, this ultraviolet glint in her eye.
Ah, so she knew something Alari didn't. A hint of defiance still there.
Seems like it, because then, boom, Jax arrives with a rescue team. The Liberator team, cool name. Ex-synthetics, hybrids, even a former incubator tech.
A real motley crew of rebels. People who understand the system from the inside.
They disable the dampeners, get her out. But just before they do, Vera makes her big move. She uploads the truth.
Not another virus.
No. Raw data. All the stuff the consortium kept hidden. The auction data. The fail rates. The suicides. The kids who didn't measure up and were erased. Everything. Globally.
Wow. That's devastating. Way worse than crashing the market. That's exposing the human cost, the ugly reality behind the slick facade.
Exactly. No more illusions, just the cold, hard facts of what the system did to people.
That appeals straight to empathy, to outrage, much more powerful than just numbers on a stock ticker.
And the fallout is massive. The gene auction collapses. 40 days.
40 days? That's incredibly fast.
Lawsuits everywhere. Labs burning, parents demanding refunds, feeling ashamed. The whole thing just implodes.
A total system collapse, triggered by transparency.
And something new emerges. Free birth clinics. Kids grown without contracts, no auctions. Enhancements, if any, are chosen later. By them.
A fundamental change. From predetermination to autonomy.
It's the start of the unbranded generation. And Vera, formerly Lot, hashtag 67288A, she's their icon. They're first.
She becomes the symbol of that new freedom, that rejection of being owned.
But her own fate, it's uncertain. Maybe died in the raid, maybe leading a new group somewhere else, maybe just walking among the unbranded.
That ambiguity makes her even more powerful as a symbol, doesn't it? She's not just a person anymore, she's an idea.
Yeah. And that tradition. Every year, on the day the auctions fell, kids light up a little holographic gavel and smash it.
Wow. That's potent. A yearly reminder of freedom won, smashing the symbol of commodification.
So pulling it all together, what are the big takeaways here?
Well, first, the obvious danger of turning life into a product, right? Reducing people to specs and contracts.
Definitely. And also the power of one person, how individual agency can actually challenge and even break these huge, seemingly unstoppable systems.
Uh-huh. And maybe a third thing, that trying to have absolute control often backfires. It can create the very resistance that destroys it, like with Vera's intelligence.
Yeah, that's a great point. They created the tool of their own destruction. Her whole journey started with just asking, why?
A simple question that unraveled everything. It really makes you think about where we draw lines with biotechnology. What does it mean to value autonomy, inherent worth, when we can increasingly design life?
Which leads us to that final thought for you, the listener. As technology gives us more power to shape life itself, what are our responsibilities? How do we protect autonomy? And could a system that seems inevitable today be overturned tomorrow by someone just deciding not to comply?
Something to definitely chew on.
For sure. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.